You know, I say keep slabbing everything because then I can buy your slabs. Hey there, today I have a CGC unboxing video, and in this video I'm going to open up 3 separate orders, each containing their own single CGC graded comic book. Where one of these books was a graded book that I was after for about 2 years. I went through the whole up and downs of the COVID pricing and the market sliding, people holding on to the older values, and I finally found a book that I was looking for in a 9.8 at auction, and I really couldn't believe it. So there was no real negotiation. I just had to be the last man standing when it came to bidding in the auction, which I was in this case. But there were so many buy it now opportunities and situations through eBay, Shortboxed, lots of different platforms, Heritage, and so forth, where sellers were really holding on to books that they had slabbed and were really kind of demanding and holding on to those higher prices. And it's nice to see a lot of those sellers giving up. They've given up and they realize they just can't get what they're looking for, so they figured they'll just go ahead and sell the book off at auction, which is the worst thing that you can do. What I do with my slabs is I leave them for sale at a particular price, and I just lower the price gradually over time, or maybe I do some adjusting to the market. But I'm never in a hurry. I'm never in a rush to buy a book, and I'm never in a rush to sell a book. Eventually, I think that philosophy will catch up with me, but for now, that's how I find a lot of enjoyment in the hobby, is I really don't hurry when it comes to buying and selling. So I want to go ahead and open up these 3 orders. They all came from eBay. Just as I said, I don't do a lot of CGC purchasing off of eBay. I was really on a roll when I thought maybe I should actually reconsider that, and ended up finding a few more books at auction, because I do believe with the prices of getting books graded, submitting books for CGC signature and so forth, and the prices and the costs and all of the fees that are associated with it, it's making it more and more attractive to me as a collector to buy the slab just outright, already slabbed. Believe me, I do a lot of raw book purchasing. I do a lot of sending books out to pressers. I try to press my own books when I can. But right now, it seems to be a great time to take a look at some books at auction, especially when those books at auction don't end at maybe a more common time, or a time where typically comic book collectors are buying Friday nights, Saturday nights, and so forth. So there's a lot of different ways to get deals, especially for somebody like me that really only buys online. So let me show you some of the deals that I got by participating in auctions on eBay. Okay, the slabs are unpacked. It was interesting. Sometimes what sellers will do is they'll just basically put their trash in with the shipment. Here is what came with one of my slabs. It's the Kirkland bath tissue. It's not really protecting anything, but maybe there was a little bit of extra airspace in the shipment, and figured I'll just go ahead and send my trash out to California along with the CGC slab. So there you go. It's a lot of different ways to pack books. This first one that I'm going to show you was packed extremely well. Lots of great bubble wrap. As a hoarder, I do appreciate bubble wrap like this, because I will save this and reuse this, and I'll be able to send out probably at least 2 slabs with the amount of bubble wrap that they use. But really, really appreciate that. Very cool that it came very well packaged and wrapped up here. And the first book, this was a little bit of a leftover or holdover from my World Tree CGC slab buying spree, and this was a book that I had started to look at. This is World Tree #1. This is the Trinity Comics edition. This is a complete full art cover, and thought that this was just super cool. Great cover art here with Fear on the cover. I love that she's got kind of a side-eye look to her. And this was a limited store exclusive. And what I found was, for the amount that I paid for this book in a CGC 9.8, I could go out to some different outlets that had this Trinity Comics edition, and you could buy this full art store exclusive for around the same price that I picked it up slab. So that was kind of what I was doing. I was looking for these things. I was looking for books that were put up for auction that were going to end at a particular price where it was essentially around the same price as the book raw. Now, I love this cover art. This is I would have picked up the store exclusive of this book raw anyway, but then when I saw that it was up for auction, I had to go ahead and bid on it and made sure that I picked it up. This is again World Tree number 1, the Trinity Comics edition in a CGC 9.8. All right, so you get a lot of different comic book advice from people. Buy what you love, buy on the dip. Everybody's trying to tell you how to collect. And one of the things that I like to do is buy what you know. I think it's technically buy what you love or buy what you like. But what I mean by buy what you know is there are titles and there are characters that you're invested in from a story perspective or from any real angle, collectability, investment, or otherwise. And I like to diversify my comic book collection, of course, but when it comes to a particular title, brand, publisher, character, artist, creator, whatever, I like to just pile on, and this is no exception. This is Something is Killing the Children, issue number 7. This is in a CGC 9.8 white pages, and it is a single issue, Something is Killing the Children. And this is interesting to me because there was one issue that I was missing out of the Something is Killing the Children run that I had. And what I tried to do is buy multiple copies of every single digit issue or get like 2 cover A, 1 cover B, something like that, or 1A and 1B. I tried to have multiples of each issue. And I got started a little bit late on Something is Killing the Children. Specifically on issue 8 is when I started buying and reading and had to then backtrack and find the previous issues. And I was fortunate enough to place a couple of substantial orders with both Mile High and Midtown to complete issues 1 through 6. But issue 7 had eluded me. And so during the peak values of the comic book collecting market over the last couple of years, I found, I believe it was Sanctum Sanctorum. They had issue number 7 raw on their website. I think I waited till maybe they had like a 25% off discount because it was still very expensive. And I want to say I paid somewhere around $60 or $65 for the book raw. And I was able to acquire this same issue number 7 already slabbed in a CGC 9.8, however, for I think a very, very reasonable price. So I love this. Issue 7 is not necessarily rare. But any of the single digit issues, I would say maybe 8 and 9 is kind of when, of course, that's when I started to really jump on the subscription bandwagon and buying every issue. And that's really where the series started to take off in terms of print run and scarcity and popularity. It was already picking up some steam, but I would say any real copies that you have of issues 1 through 8, maybe you can make the argument 9, but I think even 9 is common, or more common, I would say, certainly than issues 1 through 7, 1 through 8. They're worth collecting. So this was really cool that I was able to acquire this book that had eluded me for so long, and now I've got 1 raw and 1 slabbed in a 9.8. My goal is to have issues 1 through 9 all in a CGC 9.8, and I think at this point I am only missing issue 2. So this is adding to my personal collection of Something is Killing the Children. So really happy to add this. And again, just finding auctions, right place, right time, and also just understanding the market, understanding the prices and the values, and also understanding prices that I had paid previously when comparing them to slabbed prices, where I almost can't help myself when I see a slabbed version of a book that I know I purchased or I was looking at purchasing at a particular price. I love getting that at the slab price. So once again, Something is Killing the Children, number 7 from Boom Studios, released in June of 2020 in a CGC 9.8 white pages. Now, as good as both of those books are, and as happy as I am to get both of them in my collection, this was the book I was talking about in the intro that took me over 2 years to pick up. It first came across my radar when I was searching for a particular cover artist, and then I had the Avengers character have her own show on Disney Plus, and then started to maybe obsess a little bit around the character, the creator, and when I found that, yes, there was in fact a comic where this artist did the cover art featuring this character, then I had to track it down. And this book is Avengers No Road Home, number 1, featuring Scarlet Witch on the cover with cover art by Adam Hughes. And this is awesome. Technically Avengers 708, according to the legacy numbering, but this was a mini-series called No Road Home from 2019. And a little interesting side story again, it's really more obsessing than it is studying prices in the market at this point. And so I was getting a lot of negotiation and a lot of offers for this book, trying to get me to buy it for somewhere between $250 and $350 back in 2020 and 2021. And I just had always kept the book on my radar, but had always just figured that was just a little bit, there was just something about this book that I just didn't feel like really warranted that sort of price. The fact that it's Hughes, the fact that it's one of Marvel's most popular characters, especially because of Elizabeth Olsen and her portrayal of Scarlet Witch in the MCU properties. And so, of course, I was figuring out, what is my price range for this specific book. But also, I had acquired this book raw, and the short version of that story is I think I paid, it was around $100, maybe $125 for the book raw. This is how badly I wanted it. And when I got the book, it was completely creased up and down the book. To my satisfaction and surprise, the seller, and it was an online store, it was not eBay, it was a legit comic book store online, and I sent them photographs and I said, I'm really disappointed. I wanted this book so bad and was just so disappointed to see it all creased up and wanted to see would they offer to me at a discount. And I forget what grade I'd assigned to it, but it was somewhere around an 8. I just said it's not near mint, and they said they would offer me a full refund, but I would have to send the book back. So there was a brief moment where I had unboxed and unpacked the book. I looked at it, I had emailed them, and then I had to send it back the next day. And so then when that kind of thing happens, I do tend to obsess about certain books more than I do others. But this is going to be one of my prized possessions in my collection when it comes to cover artists that I love. Adam Hughes is a fan favorite of many, many collectors. So it doesn't surprise me that a book like this would command that sort of price and value. But what I had done on eBay is I had created a save search, and I said, please email me, alert me if there's any hits on the save search. And I got a hit one day that said, yes, Avengers No Road Home, number 1, Adam Hughes cover. There is one on eBay for sale, and it is in fact an auction. And I immediately put it on my watch list and watched it all the way up to the very last second, and I pumped my bid up as high as I could to make sure that I got it, because I didn't want it to slip away this time. So I'm really happy to add it to my collection, but I'm also very proud that I was patient enough to add it, getting it back when I felt like the price of it and the way that the market is headed, I felt like it was more of an appropriate price for what I paid, more reasonable and more in line with today's market. And very, very happy to add that book to my collection. 3 great CGC 9.8 slabs. So let me know what you think. Is this a good time to be a CGC collector? Are slabs kind of a thing of the past? Are they dying off? Or do you think raw books are where it's at? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think. And if you like what I do here, please consider becoming a channel member by clicking join underneath this video or on my YouTube channel page at Moneyball Comics, so that you can participate in my monthly giveaways and get access to members only videos and early access to all of my other videos. Thanks for watching, happy collecting, and see you next time.